All right, topic 10.5 is adding mixed numbers. So this week so far we have added fractions with like denominators. We've added fractions with unlike denominators. We subtracted fractions with unlike denominators. And now we're going to learn how to add mixed numbers. And basically when you add mixed numbers, all you're doing is adding the whole numbers and adding the fractions together. And what we're going to find out today is sometimes you need to stop and reevaluate your answer and make sure that you have done what you need to do. So let's look at this first problem I have here. Rhoda mixes sand with 2 2/3 cups of potting mixture to prepare soil for her cactus plant. After mixing them together, how many cups of soil does Rhoda have? This tells us right here that she has soil, 1 1/2 cups, and it tells us in the actual problem that she has 2 2/3 cups of potting mixture. So our problem is 1 1/2 plus 2 2/3. So I'm going to go to the next page so that I have room to work this out. As I told you in class, I really want you to be careful when you work these kind of problems, because if you get off track and you work all over the place, you really get confused with where you are. So I want you to come right underneath and go ahead and copy down the whole number and go ahead and draw your fraction bar, okay? Because we know we cannot add these fractions together until they have a common denominator. So we're basically just copying our whole numbers, and then now we just have a problem 1/2 plus 2/3. So we need a common denominator. So I'm going to use 6 because 2 and 3 both go into 6. 2 times 3 is 6, so that was times 3 to get to 6, which means I have to do, my pen's sluggish today, times 3 up here. So now we know that 1 1/2 is the same thing as 1 3/6. Let's come over here. To get from 3 to 6, we multiplied times 2, so we got to multiply times 2 up here. All right, so now we have two mixed numbers that the fraction portion of the mixed numbers have like denominators, so we can add them. So let's add our whole numbers first. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 6 plus 4 6 equals 7 6. Okay, remember our denominators stay the same, and we just add the 3 plus 4. So the answer is 3 and 7 6. And that is what we got. Can you see what is wrong with this answer? I have a whole number, but then beside it I have an improper fraction. So 3 and 7 6 is never a final answer. What we need to do is, because this is an improper fraction, we need to change that back into a mixed number. So I'm going to go ahead and bring down my 3, and I'm going to add whatever this is to it. So 7 6 I know is 1 1/6, because 6 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 6 is 6, and it takes one more up to get to 7, and your denominator stays the same. So now I can get a final answer. 3 plus 1 is 4, and then I bring over my fraction. So now I know the answer to 1 1/2 plus 2 2/3 is 4 1/6. Now again, what I want you to understand is when we got this answer, this was right, but the form it was in is wrong. We have a whole number, and then we have an improper fraction, which means there's a whole number inside that improper fraction. So if you bring down your whole number and then add to it whatever this improper fraction works out to be, then you can get your final answer. So I want us to spend just a little bit of time. Let's just change these mixed numbers to improper fractions. So 4 12/7. When I had that, if I had that number, what I would do is I would bring down my 4, and to the 4 I'm going to add whatever this equals. So 7 goes into 12 one time. 1 times 7 is 7, and it takes 5 more to get up to 12, and my denominator stays the same. So 4 12/7 is actually 4 plus 1 is 5 and 5 7. So I hope you're seeing all we're doing is converting the improper fraction and adding it to the whole number we already have. Okay, 8 7/4, we know that's going to be 8 plus, what is this as a mixed number? 4 goes into 7 1. 1 times 4 is 4, and it takes 3 more to get to 7. Your denominator does not change. So we add this together. 8 plus 1 is 9 3/4. So we know 8 7/4 is really 9 3/4. We brought our whole number over. we changed our improper fraction into a mixed number and we added them together. Okay, 5 and 6/5. Let's see what that would be. We're going to bring down our 5, and to it we're going to add whatever 6/5 equals. So 5 goes into 6 once. There's 1 left over. Denominator stays the same. 5 plus 1 is 6, and 1/5. So 5 and 6/5 is really 6 and 1/5. Remember, because an improper fraction means there's a whole. There's more than a whole in there. So we took that whole out and the fraction of what was left. 7 and 9/13 would be 7 plus 9 goes into 13 one time with 4 left over. And your denominator is 9. 7 plus 1 is 8. And 4 9ths. So we know that 7 and 13/9 is really 8 and 4 9ths, because remember, in an improper fraction there is a whole number. We have to pull that whole number out. Okay, so I wanted us just to practice a little bit on how to change these over into the mixed number that it needs to be. Alright, so now let's just try adding excuse me, adding two mixed numbers. So I have 1 7/8 plus 3 1/4. Remember, you're going to bring down your whole number, draw your division bar, or your fraction bar, addition sign, bring down your other whole number, and draw your fraction bar. So now basically you're looking for a common denominator for 7/8 and 1/4. I'm going to use 8. Remember, that means I don't have to do anything here. If I use 8 here, to get from 4 to 8, it was times 2. So 1 times 2 is 2. Now I'm going to add my whole numbers. 1 plus 3 is 4. 7 plus 2 is 9, and the denominator is 8. Is this answer okay, or do you need work? Well, this is an improper fraction, so let's go below it and say this is really 4 plus 9/8 is 1 1/8. 4 plus 1 is 5, whoops, and 1/8. So 1 7/8 plus 3 1/4 equals 5 1/8. Let's find the sum here. 2 2/5 plus 5 5/6. Bring down your whole number, draw your fraction bar. Bring down your other whole number, draw your fraction bar. So we're looking for a common denominator between 5 and 6. Multiply them together if you need to. I'm going to choose 30. To get from 5 to 30, it was times 6. Well, my pen really doesn't want to work today. 2 times 6 is 12. To get from 6 to 30, it's times 5. We got to do it here too. 5 times 5 is 25. All right, now we're ready to add because we have like denominators. 2 plus 5, got our 7. 12 plus 25 is 37. Denominator's 30. Are we okay here? No. This is an improper fraction, so let's go below and see what it equals. Brought down my 7. 37/30. 30 goes into 37 one time with set. Good grief. This is really not cooperating with me tonight. 30 goes into 37 one time with 7 left over, and your denominator's 30. So now we can get our final answer. 7 plus 1 is 8, and 7/30. So 2 2/5 plus 5 5/6 equals 8 7/30. And I know I'm completely reduced to simplest form because 7 is prime number. Can't go any further. All right, let's do another one. 6 5/12 plus 4 5/8. Why don't you pause the video and see if you can do this one yourself. All right, so hopefully you brought down your whole number, your fraction bar, your whole number, your fraction bar. Okay, what do 12 and 8 both go into? I'm thinking I'm going to choose 24 for my common denominator. So to get from 12 to 24, it was times 2. So let's do times 2 up here. 5 times 2 is 10. To get from 8 to 24 is times 3. So 5 times 3 is 15. All right, I have common denominators. I'm ready to add. Let's add our whole number. 6 plus 4 is 10. Now let's add our fractions. 10 plus 15 is 25. 24ths. Is that okay? No. Another improper fraction. So let's bring down our 10 and add this to it. 24 goes into 25 one time with 1 left over. Denominator stays the same. So 10 plus 1 1/24 would be 11 1/24. So 6 5/12 plus 4 5/8 equals 11 1/24. All right. So on your notes page. Now I realize this is a little bit deeper thinking than what we've done. So I really want you to stop and take your time and go back and watch if you need to. Go back and watch and see how we do this. The big thing is that you add your whole numbers first, then you can add your fractions once they have common denominators. If your final answer, if your fraction part ends up being an improper fraction, you have to change it into a mixed number before you can add it back to your whole number answer. So I want you to copy these 3 problems. I want you to show me all your work. You have plenty of room in part 1, part 2, and part 3. Show me your work, and let's come into class tomorrow with completely reduced and simplified mixed numbers that we've added together. Good luck.